by MotoGP speed. Doing a wheelie at 140 mile an hour. 4 seconds, 4. That is so fast, isn't it?
Well, it's a new year. Happy New Year. Hope everybody's getting all excited about the better weather coming, and there's still time to get your bikes tuned up and refreshed and superchargers fitted before the better weather comes. So with that in mind, probably 7 years ago now, Triumph commissioned us to do a supercharger kit for their Triumph Thruxton R as a special project, and we did a deal with them, and they gave us loads of publicity with Carl Fogarty and a bit of sprinting here and there. So we've got a good relationship with Triumph, and we carried on selling those Triumph Thruxton Rs, and now we do an RS kit as well, which has got different alternators, so it's a different case. So we can now do one of these supercharger kits for the Thruxton R, the RS, the Speed Twin, and the bobber range. And there's all little variations, but all this part of the kit is all the same. And so you've got the supercharger. We make a nice CNC cover to replace the original cover with oil seal in it to run a spigot out and pulley on the end of the crank, and then a tensioner pulley here. So nice little belt run. All works very nice. On the Thruxton, you've got twin shocks. On the bobbers, you've got single shock. So we had a nice big plenum chamber on the Thruxton, and we couldn't fit it on the bobber. And we thought, well, guys on bobbers, the bobber's making like 70 brake. If we can give them over 100 brake with the supercharged kit, that would be quite a nice gain, and it would be a relatively easy thing to do. So we set about making the kit, and sure enough, we made about 105 horsepower. But the limitation was really two things. One, the frame is different on the bobber to the Thruxton, so the impeller housing had to be restricted a little bit. We had to cut into the impeller housing to clear the frame tube. So although the air was coming out, it was restricted a little bit. The kits are all intercooled, so that's really good to have an intercooler on a motorbike kit. And then going around the other side, follow me, Davey. We had plenum chamber, and out of the plenum chamber, the air came out of the intercooler and to the plenum chamber, which was here. That's way up, get it in the end. So that was there, sit underneath the imitation carburetors, and because there's an imitation float bolt there, we didn't take that off, and we limited the size of the plenum chamber to this size, and the outlets were particularly small. And then we came up like that. This was pretty restrictive. And, you know, people were saying, well, you know, it's the same engine as the Thruxton. Why can't I have 150 horsepower like the Thruxton? So, well, you know, there's just not room for putting a big plenum. Big plenums mean lots of air immediately behind your throttle bodies and ease of air flow into the engine. So anyway, we had to rethink because people were asking for more horsepower. So we thought, well, if you take the imitation float bolts off, we can get a much bigger plenum in there. So we've gone from a 2.5 inch plenum to a 3 inch plenum. And then instead of having these small pipes coming round here and an aluminium boss just here, we've got a nice 48 millimeter 180 degree bend just in silicon, and the flow difference is enormous. So now, by changing the, if you like, by doing an upgrade to a bigger plenum, bigger pipe work, and we've also changed the pulley on the supercharger from an 85mm to an 80mm, we're now able to offer guys with plenums an upgrade or just a new supercharger kit with around 140, 150 horsepower. So this is going on the dyno shortly. We'll see what she's got. It was running about 105 brake. The kit has been on the bike a long time. The guys had a lot of fun with it, but when he heard that I could get more power, immediately he rang me and said, Rich, you've got to upgrade, I want more power. So we set to this at the beginning of the week. We've actually had the top of the engine down, and we've put our own JE forged pistons in there at lower compression so we can run more boost, hence running the 80mm pulley instead of the 85 on the supercharger, so we give it more boost. We can also run a bit more ignition timing because the compression's that bit lower. So we're hopeful that we'll see the 140, 150 horsepower on this particular bike. So stay tuned, and like magic, you'll see us on the dyno very shortly. Okay, so we've got Steve's bike on the dyno. Bob has got the big plenum chamber, big pipe work, and we've been doing some fine tuning, and the last reflash has just been done. So let's see what she makes. So a lovely strong curve, 142.8 horsepower, 110 foot-pound of torque. She knows the difference. That's got some really serious torque. Look at that. She's making over 100 foot-pound of torque from 5,000 revs right the way to 7. Right down 2,000 revs, she's got 70 foot-pound of torque as soon as you get it on the throttle. That'd be entertaining. Great stuff. Steve's going to be pleased with that.